All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. It is 10 o'clock Eastern time here, 9 o'clock Central time, and it's once again our usual spot when it comes to our friends over at Wrestling Championship Entertainment, and they've granted us not one, not two, not three, but four up and coming stars to get us ready for Luck of the Draw. No, we're not focused on WrestleMania. No, we're not focused on NXT's big super show coming up or Impact's big super show coming up. We are focused on Luck of the Draw here, and one of those people here with us to kick things off that we're hearing from for the first time actually has a match that has been announced. We're going to talk about it, plus much, much more. So, without wait for it, further ado here on the Sports Report, number one. Good Sports Show. Pro Wrestling Star here from Wrestling Championship Entertainment. Zero Zero. How
What's
are
up?
you?
I am great, man. How are you?
Well, we're going to certainly find out here right over the next hour or so, especially when it comes to all things related to Wrestling Championship Entertainment. And, obviously we're getting ready here for Luck of the Draw, and certainly a lot to get into here. And I'm going to put my headphones on because obviously I'm hearing a whole bunch of stuff in the background on my end. But, for those that are listening and watching that are hearing you for the first time, and I realize we only have a short amount of time with you, I mean, what is gotten you into being a part of Wrestling Championship Entertainment?
Oh, wow. Well, my first show was Vindication, which I attended that show as a fan. You can see me in the background if you watch it. But I guess I have a friend who is a friend of WCE management, and that's how I got involved. The first show I attended, Sean Jovi asked me if I perhaps wanted to wrestle, and it seemed, really out of the blue.
The resident rock star, Sean Jovi.
Right. Asked me if I wanted in, and I guess in the bottom of my heart, I did, but I had to think about it for a while. And then the next show I attended, Nicholas Krenzen said, "You want to wrestle?" And then it just felt like destiny, two wrestlers asking me if I want to wrestle. Got to get in.
Absolutely, no question about it. We definitely have some people tuned in, and of course, Adonis Felios is with us, who we'll hear from in about 15 or so minutes from now. And Adonis is one of the four wrestlers we'll hear from tonight. But obviously, you spoke a little bit about that, but also in terms of a match we have upcoming here at Luck of the Draw, which we know is going to take place here in a few weeks. And talk about that upcoming match for those that are listening and hearing you for the first time, and what we can expect in that match.
Oh boy, I got a match against what's his name, Jay Styrofoam, Jay Stereo, I guess.
I'm glad I didn't say that, because I would have been shot if I would have said that. But you can say that because you're going to wrestle him, my friend.
Oh yeah, I'll make fun of that guy. I wanted a bigger opponent. I wanted somebody hot like Krenzen, Craven, Sean Jovi. But no, I get Jay Stereo, and I guess that's what I have to work with.
Wait a minute, though. But I mean, okay, I get it that you want the top stars. I get it that you want the guys that everybody talks about around the world. But are you taking your opponent lightly then, based on those comments there, Zero?
Yeah, maybe I am. You saw his match. You saw Jay Stereo versus Prince Charles.
Yes, I did. I did see that match, correct.
Prince Charles is a commentator, and he beat Jay Stereo. No problem. So, yeah, I'm confident, okay?
Okay, but I would still say that in professional wrestling, you could never take a day off. And most recent example of that is, listen, Action Andrade in AEW at the beginning of the year beats some guy you might have heard of named Chris Jericho as an example. So, I mean, there are other examples. The Godfather beats Triple H in a match. I mean, 1, 2, 3 Kid famously, Razor Ramon. I mean, we can go up and down the list. So you still can't take him lightly.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll have to keep my eyes peeled.
All right. Well, we'll obviously hope to expect to see something else there. And you spoke about Nicholas Crenson a little bit, and I wanted to ask you a question on him because obviously he was the talk of last week's show and a logo that we saw on the screen. And certainly that's been the talk of a lot of people in WCE, especially. And I mean, you have any thoughts or any ideas on that or anything? Because I know you were there watching and listening to that, and I know that Mr. Crenton, I believe, had mentioned you certainly on and off the air with us here. And any ideas or thoughts on that?
So Nicholas Crenson, he's a good friend of mine. He's a close associate. And you've probably heard him mention Linda before.
Yes, yes, I
Linda
have.
Linda is another friend and associate of mine who gives me a lot of direction in the WCE. The first thing Linda told me to do was find someone big and scary to be my bodyguard. And I found Dirty Deadskin, who has served his purpose thus far. The
Sure.
next thing Linda told me to do is to get myself a shiny. And I got a intergalactic shiny. People tell me, it's low hanging fruit, whatever. I got a shiny. Okay. Mission accomplished. Next thing Linda told me to do, find someone big and bad, some titan on the WCE roster, and form an alliance. Now I have that with Nicholas Crenson.
So you would then basically align with Mr. Crenson on, let's say, things. Let's say how, let's say, General Manager Mark Packer has treated him in certain situations. Would you align with him on those things then?
I would. I think both Nicholas Crenson and I have been disappointed by the things that management has tried to tell us to do in the past. Even in my instances, things that management has told me I can't say. We're not too pleased with
Well, so then I almost have to go back to this then, as we are here speaking with Zero Deus here, who's getting ready for his match next month, Luck of the Draw, for Wrestling Championship Entertainment, who you please need to follow on Facebook at WCE Heat, also YouTube as well. So then you would say then Mr. Packer's treatment of Mr. Crenson would be then maybe intertwined, or shall we say tied to how you feel in the type of opponent that you've been given here so far, as you call him Jay Styrofoam, but he's not Jay Styrofoam, but you're calling him that. So is that fair to say then, more or less?
yeah, Mark Packer is another silly individual who
Hmm.
I hope will be getting a taste of me in the future.
Okay, well, that's some strong words on the taste. I mean, certainly, I'll plead the fifth on that. But I have to ask you, in terms of just being a part of the season, and now that we're going to see you in a full season in action, I mean, what does it mean to you to be a part of Wrestling Championship Entertainment?
Hmm. Um, you know, I guess I've been looking for the right freak show for me for years, and this just might be it.
Really? Okay. Well, I guess freak shows haven't maybe aligned, but maybe that's the place here. And speaking of, I don't want to say freak shows here, as I want to be very careful with my words because I'm going to speak about somebody that has kind of been, I guess, of the last maybe month or so, a favorite, maybe a fan favorite on Sportswire Radio. And we're talking about a skull collector, a man who collects skulls, souls. I'm actually intertwined because I'm so tongue tied with this. And he is the soul collector, Skulls. And I am sure that you might have a thought or two. You've heard about him. There's obviously chatter about him coming to Wrestling Championship Entertainment. So I was curious about, speaking of different things, you have any thoughts on Skulls and what we might expect from him, or just in general, and his kind of, I guess, maybe you could say war of words with Craven Rage?
I wonder if Skulls is serious about joining WCE. Does this guy know what he's getting himself into? He's in California and he's going to travel across the country to wrestle us. it's peculiar to me. This guy, he's staying in hotels and eating cheeseburgers and says he's gonna travel across the country to wrestle Craven Rage, and I'm like,
Well, and Craven Rage is the top dog right now. Craven Rage, he is the top dog right now in WC, and I would dare say in all of professional wrestling, he is one of the top dogs.
Yeah, Craven's up there. I would be honored to fight Craven, and I would be shocked if Skulls can find a hotel to stay at in Wisconsin while he wrestles
Well,
Craven.
he is a soul collector, though. I'm sure he could find a way that after all the souls he's collected, that he could find a place that would allow him to stay. I would think so.
He can pay his stay in souls.
Soul money. I mean, listen, where do you keep the souls is the question I've asked. I mean, do you feel in a way that WCE management maybe will grant him this request, and this is further maybe to the lack of disrespect that, let's say, you and Nicholas Crenson and maybe a few others aligned with you have maybe felt in terms of just the treatment of you guys by management and favoritism toward, let's say, outside WCE wrestlers such as, let's say, Skulls, who comes from the EWF in California?
Man, I think if Skulls can find his way down here and share a cheeseburger with me, I'm sure that management would invite him into the roster and, give him a fair opportunity. And I hope he does follow through, because I would, I want to see if this guy's the real deal.
All right, so cheeseburgers it is, and anything else on the cheeseburger you like?
Oh man, I'll eat any kind of cheeseburger. I eat things off the floor. I'm not picky.
No, okay. Well, you know what? You are Zero, and obviously not to be confused with the famous Black Sabbath song "Zero the Hero." So certainly, I do have some comments. Let me get to them. James Marshall says he looks like a scary individual. Now, are we talking about Skulls or are we talking about Zero? Which one are we talking about? So I have to say flip a coin. Adonis Fellows, who's going to be on with us in about 5 or 6 minutes, says Skulls, interesting asset to WCE. I mean, you agree with that, or what do you think?
Yeah, the more the merrier, like Crenson said.
All right, and also James Marshall says both actually when it comes to you.
Right. I kind of felt.
Well, you look like you could be a skull collector, soul collector. Are you maybe wanting to collect souls or skulls or whatever you might want to call it?
I feel like I've already got more than one soul up in here, so I don't really need any more.
Fair enough. I'll say no more. And this individual, who I think is going to be with us in a little while, says, "How's everyone evening is going?" Well, and I think it's going good. I would hope so. I mean, we're certainly honored to be speaking about Wrestling Championship Entertainment. As luck of the draw is coming up here, and I know we have a few more minutes with you, Zero, and obviously it's been a very fun so far short amount of time with you. We certainly spoke a lot here in just a little amount of time. But I mean, luck of the draw, how big of a match, or even in a way to impress not just those in the locker room, not just management who you say have maybe mistreated you or slighted you a little bit, but even those that are going to watch you and watch you on a broader stage, because we know how big Wrestling Championship Entertainment's foothold is, especially with YouTube and matches like Darkfire and Craven Rage, which got thousands and thousands of views. The Nicholas Crenson, James Marshall Wars have gotten a lot of views. I mean, so how important is it for you to start the season and kind of impress and prove everybody wrong and everything else in between?
Well, this will be the first step in in the season. This is the first out of all the orders I've gotten from Linda, out of all the plans I've been fed from Nicholas Crenson. This is the first step. This is when things get put into action,
All right. Well, we'll have to find out. We'll certainly see. Obviously, we're all excited about the start of the season. Like I said, in a few short weeks, it feels like yesterday we were speaking, Zero, and it was like the season had just ended, and now it's almost like the season is going into full swing, and certainly April, May, June, it's going to fly. Time definitely flies here. Let me ask you this last question before I get to closing thoughts for you. What do you want to say to anybody that is watching and hearing you for the first time, and what they can expect from you coming up, not only at Luck of the Draw, but the rest of the season?
Anyone, any not fans, wrestlers, just
Anybody you
anyone.
want. Anybody you want to address. Could be Sportswire radio listeners. It could be those in the back. It could be fans of Wrestling Championship Entertainment. It could be Mark Packer. It could be Vector. It could be Linda. I mean, obviously, we kind of touched upon that briefly, but anybody you have a thought or two and you want to say something to, the floor is yours.
Well, I suppose I'm in this to entertain myself. And if I can entertain anyone else along the way, then, yippee. That's all there is to it.
What was the line I'm trying to think of in Die Hard? Was it Yippee-Yi-Yo Ki-Yay or something like that? Yippee-Ki-Yo-Yay or something like that? That's kind of like you right now, the ending of Die Hard there. And obviously Bruce Willis, certainly going to give thoughts and prayers to him. Obviously going through dementia right now. You think about Bruce Willis, one of the greatest actors of our time, one of the greatest action stars. It was kind of wasn't the biggest guy in size and frame, but he was kind of the average everyday hero, and certainly some WCE can appreciate that. But obviously, we certainly want to give our thoughts and prayers to him. But I have a feeling that those in the ring, especially your opponent coming up here next month, might certainly be praying that you don't go too hard on them. But I want to give you the floor now. I want to give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, say? If you have a social media page like Instagram or anything else, you're welcome to plug that. Just anything else on your mind. And I thank you for this opportunity, and the floor is yours.
Oh, boy. Just the opportunity to talk openly about anything. I could go on forever. I suppose I would like to say Craven Rage. If you're watching, I can guarantee that I am going to make it to the top of the ladder before Bonehead makes it to the top of the ladder. I still hope he makes the schlep from California. Just because it would entertain me. I'd slap my knee about that one. I'd chuckle to myself. Thought there was someone. Kodak Kid, love him to death.
Well, I have an announcement coming up later tonight. So what do you want to say about Kodak Kid? Because I have a feeling that might be intertwined with Mr. Kodak Kid.
Oh, just that, I miss him. He's a pivotal piece of WCE. I guess that's about it. Miss him.
Yeah, we will miss him, and it seems like he's progressing slowly. Hopefully, we see him back this season. But you might want to stay tuned in a little while because I might have an announcement about Mr. Kodak Kid. And ironically, I think he's one of the biggest ever viewed shows in WCE history. It's him and Mark Packer. So ironically, it's not Craven Rage. It's not Sean Jovi. It's actually Kodak Kid and Mark Packer, the two, I think, biggest viewed Sportswire shows with Wrestling Championship Entertainment. So you might want to stay tuned then in a little while. So, all right, interesting stuff from you. Certainly, we look forward to many more appearances from you here on Sportswire Radio. Maybe we'll see with Nicholas Krensid. Maybe we'll hear more about Linda, Vector, who else you might wrestle in the future. And thank you so much for spending some time with us here on a Saturday evening.
Thank you, man. It's been an honor.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, that was Zero Deus, I believe. I believe I got the last name right. And Zero's, I want to make sure. I always tell people the running joke is I once interviewed a New York Mets prospect, and the guy who got me the interview said, all right, we're going to interview this guy. And I'm like, all right, and then never told me how to pronounce his last name, and he was like a big deal. He was actually involved in a trade that wound up including a guy who was kind of a big player for the Mets for a little while, a guy, J.D. Davis, who had a big season for them right before COVID, and then kind of like every other Met player kind of twitters out. But he never told me the guy's name and how to pronounce it. So I'm glad I wanted to make sure with you I got your name right because you might be as scary as Skulls, and you certainly might have Linda in the background. So I want to make sure we get that all right. But that was Zero Deus, who's getting ready to be in the ring for Luck of the Draw for Wrestling Championship Entertainment. So we thank him for coming on with us. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. We are waiting for the Drip King, Adonis Felios, who's going to be making his debut to Sportswire Radio. And the Drip King has been with us, I mean, in the comments, I feel like for months and months and months, almost every show, we hear from him. So we should have him on here in about 60 seconds. So we are waiting for the Drip King, Adonis Felios. If you like what you hear from us on Sportswire Radio, you can like and follow us on Facebook and YouTube at Sportswire Radio. You can listen to us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year on sportnarium.com/player. And I will have an announcement for more Wrestling Championship Entertainment coverage this coming Monday on Sportswire. So you'll definitely want to tune in for that. We are waiting now for Adonis Felios, the Drip King, who is supposed to be here with us, and we are certainly waiting, and he is supposed to be here. So in the meantime, I'll also be back Monday afternoon. That'll be at 8 o'clock British Standard Time, I believe 4 p.m. Eastern Time, because in the UK, the clocks go back 1 hour, 1 week later. So we'll have that. And Nicholas Crenson, the new Messiah, has also mentioned that, well, the main event for Luck of the Draw has been announced. Well, I'm happy to talk about that if anybody wants to bring that up, and certainly we'll pull that up on the screen here. And if Nicholas Crenson wants to pull that up here for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, we'll certainly do that. And I will also plug anything else that we also have Wednesday. We have coverage when it comes to WCE, when it comes to a guest that was kind of referenced, and that guest was Craven Rage is back with us. It feels like it's been a while since Mr. Craven has been with us, but Craven Rage will be back in the house, and he'll probably talk about skulls. And it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to wait for the breaking news because we have now been joined. You got to turn the music down. There you go. All right. There you go. We are joined here by the Drip King himself, Adonis Felios. Adonis, long time no here. You got to turn the radio down, please. Please turn the radio down.
Oh, I have no radio on, so don't worry about it.
Okay, well, I'm hearing myself echoing, so you have to turn whatever you must have us on in the background.
Oh, I don't have anything on. Sorry.
Okay, well, I'm going to do my best to get through this because I have a whole bunch of stuff I'm hearing on your end. But obviously, WCE, you've been a big part of things. And for those that are listening and watching here, talk about Wrestling Championship Entertainment, what it means to you to be a part of this roster.
Well, I've been a fanatic of WWE, WCW, partially ECW for probably since I was a little tripod.
Okay, all right. So that's certainly good reasons why. And obviously, when it comes to Luck of the Draw coming up here later this month, talk about maybe some of your goals here for the season in Wrestling Championship Entertainment.
Well, basically, just there is one particular goal in mind, and that is, how can I say it? I can be more blunt about it. I'm dripping in gold.
Show that belt on the screen there for us.
Right now, I am the current reigning, defending AIW World Heavyweight Champion.
All right, and what does that mean to you?
Let's think of this as a holy grail of this company so far. The company I helped jumpstart from, and that is All Insane Wrestling.
All right, we'll certainly have to see how that maybe success hopefully transitions for you with our Wrestling Championship Entertainment. You've got a ton of noise in the background. I mean, I can barely hear you, so I'm going to try my best to go put you through here with this. But I mean, what are your goals in Wrestling Championship Entertainment?
Well, it's quite simple, Mr. Tom. Just make sure I stack up some wins. Sometimes losses may not be the best option, but I can handle the pressure somehow. But however, give it my all.
Is there anybody in particular that you want to maybe target or wrestle? We heard Zero just before, and he spoke about Craven Rage, and everybody seems to speak about Craven Rage, and you've been a very, very vocal person in a lot of our shows here in different comments and such. So, I mean, anybody in particular you have an eye on this season?
Well, I'm gonna get to that, Mr. Bryce. There's plenty of my bucket list I want to challenge face to face. Even if it's in a tag match, a fatal four-way match, triple threat match, the sky's the limit. I can challenge, who knows? I can challenge Darkfire the next day. I can challenge Tyler Art the next day. I can even challenge my best buddy in the world, Dash Andrews, one of these days. And who knows? I can challenge Catalyst one of these days.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you then this question in terms of, let's say, when we talk about some of these names, you mentioned Catalyst, you mentioned Dash Andrews, even. I mean, what do you plan to do to kind of maybe put yourself in a position where you can challenge those wrestlers?
Do whatever I can, however I can, to the best of my abilities. Play by the book, number one. Number two, make sure you're always one step ahead of that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll start. Go ahead, jump in.
The most important thing of all, see what you've been fighting for.
All right. Well, obviously, a lot of stuff there we'll certainly see. I know you'll definitely be a big part of things at Luck of the Draw. And I wanted to ask you in terms of, what do you want to say to anybody who's watching and listening and is hearing about you for the first time, what they can expect from you as a wrestler, or anybody else that you want to address? Could be in the back, could be a fan, could be here on Sportswire, whatever it might be.
Well, Tom, on a slight personal note, I'm going to say this. I want to do this to pay homage to my deceased biological father, who died in his sleep last year on April 15th at 7:30 at night in his sleep.
I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry. How much did he appreciate what you did out there as a wrestler?
Well, I can tell right about now, especially up to this point to this day, he's upstairs in heaven right about now, smiling with the best seat in the house.
Amen to that, certainly. Amen to that. And obviously, he's definitely looking down on you. He's definitely very, very proud of you. And I want to give you the floor now, because obviously we have Tyler Art coming on next, and obviously we're kind of going shotgun with you and everyone else here and the roster. And I want to give you the floor now for some closing thoughts, any social media, anything else you want to plug, share, say, and the floor is yours. And I can't thank you enough for this opportunity and your support of Sportswire Radio.
Well, Tom, here's my closing moment. Sean Jovi. I look back at the tape, and you challenged me to a very, very historic champion versus champions match. Let me incline for you for a little bit. As far as your challenge goes, I accept.
Could we see your championship that we have there, the AIW World Championship, versus the Ronus Championship Wrestling? Resident rock star Sean Jovi. Sounds like there's something a lot of people might want to see there. So we'll definitely have to see that. And I want to thank you for this opportunity, and we look forward to hearing more about you in the future. And we definitely enjoyed some of the Drip King here tonight.
Before you depart to the next person, Mr. Bryce, I want to say one last thing and in closing.
Sure.
As far as your challenge goes, Sean Jovi, like I said before, I accept. At your terms, the best WCE ring has to offer. I'll possibly see you at Dead or Alive.
Will it be a wanted Dead or Alive between the resident rock star Sean Jovi and the Drip King Adonis Felios in a champion versus champion match? It looks like it. We'll certainly have to find out here, and these are reasons why you want to follow our friends over at Wrestling Championship Entertainment at WCE Heat on Facebook, WCEHeat.com, and also on YouTube as well. And my friend, I want to thank you for this opportunity. We'll definitely do a longer interview in the future, and certainly thank you for the opportunity.
And Mr. Bryce, before you head on to the next participant, you have to try some of this.
We will definitely do so, but you got to give me better audio next time because I'm having a really, really hard time hearing you, and we have to fix this next time. But we will definitely do more. You are the Drip King. Thank you for your time. We are now joined here. Hopefully you have better audio, and your name is Tyler Ark, and obviously you've been a part of things here in Wrestling Championship Entertainment. And for those that are listening and watching here on Sportswire Radio, thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me on your show or your podcast. And I'm ready for this season for WCE. I'm ready to face new competitors. Hopefully I win championships and stuff.
All right, well, for those that are listening and watching here for the first time and they're hearing about Tyler Ark, set the tables for us and what we can expect this season here in Wrestling Championship Entertainment.
For Tyler Ark, I just want to win gold championships. I don't care whoever I face. It be a best match, a good match. Hey, I will work hard and try my best with Tyler Ark and stuff.
Okay, all right. So certainly you're going to try the path of working hard, and we certainly appreciate that. And what is your goals here in Wrestling Championship Entertainment this season?
My goals is probably teaming up with somebody in the future, probably win championships and work hard and be the best wrestler.
Okay, all right. And I do want to break here because we have breaking news that Nicholas Crenson alluded to. And it's on the Wrestling Championship Entertainment Facebook page, which you can follow Wrestling Championship Entertainment at WCE Heat on Facebook. Also, YouTube at WCE Heat. Also, WCEHeat.com for more information on Wrestling Championship Entertainment. That Commissioner Mark Packer has announced the final participant for the WCE Interstate Championship match at WCE Luck of the Draw just a few short weeks away. And that participant is here for the triple threat is going to be Dark Fire. So you've heard it here on Sportswire Radio. At Luck of the Draw, we will see Dark Fire, Catalyst, and the new Messiah, Nicholas Crenson, collide in a triple threat elimination match to determine the new WCE Interstate Openweight Champion. All three men have strong claims to being the next champion, and we shall find out who's the be to determine most at Luck of the Draw. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, to recap it. And certainly my eyes might have been failing me on the last sentence. That's been kind of one of those days for me. But we will now have a triple threat match for the Wrestling Championship Entertainment Interstate Openweight Championship. We will have the new Messiah, Nicholas Crenson, Catalyst, and Darkfire collide in a triple threat elimination match. So any thoughts on that, Tyler Ark? Any feelings on what we're going to see here coming up at Luck of the Draw in a few weeks?
I don't know what to say. Hopefully whoever the best man wins in that triple threat match, and them two are some good wrestlers.
Okay, well, we'll certainly see. No question that obviously all three have certainly had distinguished runs in wrestling championship entertainment. Certainly the new messiah, Nicholas Crenson, has been on Sportswire many times, and he famously has not held the championship in about 17 years. So he's got one of the longest championship droughts, or playoff drought, you might want to say, in professional sports and wrestling right now. So some might say the pressure might be on him. Well, others might say it's Catalyst that has the pressure on him. But we will certainly find out. Adonis Velios, who was just with us, says his money is on Catalyst. We'll have to see. For you, Tyler Rock, though, who would you want to face most this season?
The most who I want to face this season is probably Darkfire, because he could probably give me the match of my year or make me work hard and stuff. And I want to fight Russell Darkfire so bad, but hopefully I see him. Hopefully I see him down the road sometime.
Okay, well, certainly I could see why you might want Darkfire, especially if he becomes the interstate openweight champion. No question that that could be something that's on your horizon. So I could certainly say that is also. And I wanted to ask you, because I always ask this question, especially for those that have come on here for the first time. And what does it mean to you to be in wrestling, or to be a wrestler? And what wanted you to kind of join this crazy sport we call wrestling?
I just watched one of their videos one time on YouTube. I'm like, I want to join this company, and I want to be like a fighting wrestler and work hard and train with different people and stuff, and be a good superstar or a good wrestler.
Okay, all right. Well, I could certainly see why you might want to be a good wrestler, and we'll hopefully see if you become that good wrestler. No question that we'll have to see and see what happens with that. And is there anything you want to say maybe to anybody that, let's say, is watching you for the first time and listening to what you have to say, and they're not so much familiar with Tyler Ark, but maybe they're going to be familiar after watching this? And anything you want to say to those individuals?
Not, no, I don't have nothing to say, but
okay, so you certainly are one of these people that just wants to do it in the ring, because clearly speaking is not your strength. I'm going to tell you right now, your strength is going to be wrestling. So I'm going to say it's been nice to speak with you. I'm going to give you the floor now. I'm going to give you some closing thoughts. So I don't mean to be curt with this, but I'm going to certainly give you the floor. Anything you want to say, anything else you want to plug, and certainly we thank you for the opportunity.
I'm just ready for this season for WCE, and hopefully I win championships and bring them back to my fans, whoever watched me or whatever heard about Tyler Ark before. Hey, he's ready. He's ready to win championship and goals to bring back.
Well, James Marshall seems to sort of partially agree, because he says actions do speak louder than words. We'll see this coming season, Tyler Ark. Yeah, listen, you and Adonis Velios, I have to say, are the two wrestlers that certainly are going to be under a microscope. No question when it comes to what you guys might do here this season. And certainly Adonis, we found out, is going to be wrestling the resident rock star Sean Jovi in a champion versus champion match. Obviously, you have been here in WC for a while. You've certainly been a part of the roster, and you've certainly had your moments at times, but you haven't quite been on, let's say, the bigger stage here in WCE. We'll have to see if 2023 and this season will be the season where maybe you put it all together. I'm not sure, but certainly after tonight, I think people will definitely keep an eye on you.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tyler Ark here, and Tyler Ark is a part of Wrestling Championship Entertainment. We wait here for Killer Wolf to come on. Killer Wolf will be on here in a couple of minutes, and my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, and it has certainly been an interesting show here, and we are now waiting for Killer Wolf to come on here. So Killer Wolf, hopefully you can kill us here with some maybe not so much kindness, but at least some certainly action. So we are waiting for you to come onto the screen, as we've heard from Zero Deus. I think Zero was my favorite so far because Zero, I think he's got something about him. Zero's got some juice. Zero's got some skills in the ring. I'm watching him. Adonis and Tyler, we'll see what they can bring to the table in the ring. Obviously, we did learn a little bit about Adonis, unfortunately, in the 1 year anniversary of his father's death, but we will still wait to see what Killer Wolf has to say. So we're waiting for him to come on the stream here. So please click on the link here, Killer Wolf. That's what we're asking you. So clearly, some of these these wrestlers certainly don't follow instructions. So we'll have to see here. We are on Sportswire Radio. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. If you like what you hear from us, please continue to like and follow us on Facebook and YouTube at Sportswire Radio. And he's figured it out here because we are now joined by Killer Wolf. And please, you better save us. You're on the clock, buddy. You better do a better job than Tyler Rock and Adonis Velios did. So how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. It's nice to meet you, Tom Bryce, for the first time. What questions you got for me?
Well, we're going to certainly get to them, and you better be good on these questions. I'm going to tell you straight up. First question, though, for you is obviously, all kidding aside, is for those that are listening and watching here on Sportswire Radio, and what got you into wrestling?
Just watching WWE, watching Rey Mysterio for the longest, and watching Sin Cara, and them two have been my biggest superstars since then. I grew up and just kept learning as I grew.
You look like you might be related to a Sin Cara, or let's say a Super Crazy, or certainly Rey Mysterio. Obviously, is the big talk in the wrestling world because, well, his son Dominic seems to want a match with him, and then on top of that, he got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame yesterday, and he's the first active wrestler, I think, technically since Ric Flair to get that feat. But certainly, are you related to any of these wrestlers, or am I missing something?
I'm not related, but I wish I was. I wish I was.
All right, well, you seem like you might have some promise here. And I got some comments here. Our guest that just came on a few minutes ago, Tyler Wolf, says, Killer Wolf, I'm coming for you. Hope to see you in the ring. Killer Wolf reminds me of Prince Puma in the ring. Love that energy. I like you right now. You got some energy. And why do you have so much energy that makes you maybe have a certain drive and motivation that maybe people are going to be keeping an eye on you, I think, in Wrestling Championship Entertainment this season?
Well, I'm ready for the season to open up. I'm ready to face any opponents that come my way, climb the mountain, and hopefully and officially verse Craven Rage.
All right, now you're like the umpteenth wrestler that has called out Craven Rage. Why are you different than literally everybody else that's called him out?
As a luchador and learning how to do stuff in ring and outside the ring, I don't do no talk, I just do.
All right, well, you know what? I'll give you that much, but I got one piece of advice. Take off the watch when you wrestle Craven Rage, because Craven Rage, when he wrestles you, he's going to want that watch. I just got a feeling on that. But I mean, I have to ask you, okay, so I give you that. You are a luchador. You've got a style. We all love to see the luchadors. No question about that. But, I mean, what Craven Rage has done in Wrestling Championship Entertainment has been, no doubt, it's extraordinary. I mean, wrestlers from other companies. We even have a guy, Skulls, who's a soul collector from the EWF that wants a piece of Craven Rage. So, I mean, how are you going to be able to prove yourself, though, other than the luchador style, that you're a guy that deserves a crack at it? I mean, listen, Kodak Kid, who we're going to have an announcement on in a few minutes. I mean, Kodak Kid still, we don't know his timetable when he returns to the ring. And look at what Craven Rage did to him. I mean, how are you going to be different?
Counter every attack that he does.
So how much tape have you watched from Craven Rage?
A lot. I've been studying him since WCE even started. Got to introduce from Mason Black about this company, and he showed me videos, highlights. Most definitely just looking at the matches itself.
Okay, all right. So you know what? We'll see about that. And we've got a couple more comments here. Let's say, remember, Tom, soul collectors come from California for a shot at Craven. And that's my point. That's my point here, is that we have people from all over the place that want a shot at Craven Rage. Craven Rage now, I mean, he's the champion. I mean, everybody talks about Roman Reigns, but I would say it's Craven Rage is the champion. That is the rage against the machine. So there's no
Right.
question that everybody wants a piece. He's now the all-out WCE champion. He's not just
Oh,
he's not just a champion. He's the all-out champion now. We saw the balance and we saw all of that. So you might have to prove yourself a little bit first. But James Marshall says, from what I've seen last season, fine-tune your skills and you will go places. What do you say to that advice from James Marshall, who's obviously been at the top of the mountain here? He was our interstate open weight champion. And go ahead, jump in.
well, all I gotta say, I'm gonna take that advice to heart. Work hard, dedicate, stay focused, clear-minded, and any opponents that come my way, face them and move on.
All right, I have to ask you a question for those that are listening and watching, especially those that are hearing from you the first time, especially some people like Anastasia Riznia from the state of California, not related to Skulls, by the way, who's a soul collector from another part of California. But I have to ask the Captain Obvious dumb question, Killer Wolf. How do you wrestle with that mask on when it looks like you have those eyes covered? How are you able to pull off all those different moves that you do in the ring when you have a mask? It almost looks like it shields your eyes. I mean, I have to ask the Captain Obvious question there.
Let's see. I can see.
You can see. So the other wrestlers, though, can't see your eyes, but you can see them. Is that what you're telling us?
They can't see me, but I can see them.
So almost like John Cena, you can't see me almost with the 5-knuckle shuffle. Well, it looks like you might be able to pull off a 5-knuckle shuffle. And when it comes to wrestling championship entertainment, I got the fact that you won Craven Rage. You're certainly shooting your shot. You're calling your shot, no question about it. I don't blame you. You come on here for the first time. But, I mean, what are your goals here, though, in this company this season?
My goals is to work hard, dedicate myself to, show people and fans how, difficult it is in ring, out of ring, earn everybody's respect, and climb the mountain, being able to team up with different wrestlers, and hopefully, the returning of Kodak Kid, I'll see him down the line. Pretty sure I'm hoping that I'll be able to verse him for the first time.
Well, yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, speaking of Kodak Kid, because you're the second wrestler in a row that has referenced Kodak Kid.
I respect
Kodak. Absolutely. And we respect him here. And I said this before at the top of the show with Zero Deus, that actually I think the second biggest WC interview in Sportswire history is with Kodak Kid in terms of viewership. And speaking of that, Kodak Kid is coming back live Monday night on Sportswire Radio, and he's going to talk about his injury status and how he's recovering. So we're going to hear from Kodak Kid, the picture of perfection, once again on Sportswire Radio and all of our platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, Twitter at Thomas Price 2017, the audio version at sportnarium.com/player. So maybe Killer Wolf, I'll have to ask Kodak Kid about what you have just said about him, maybe wanting him in the ring if he comes back this season, and maybe even teaming with him. So maybe I'll ask you, Mr. Killer Wolf, to Kodak Kid.
I really want to team up with him as two high flyers. I think we could pull off the best tag team in WCE history. And, if we ever go one-on-one, toe-to-toe, two high flyers, win or lose, still respect at the end of the day.
How important is that for you to show respect to your other wrestlers so far? How important is that to show respect?
Respect is not given, it's earned. And I learned that from my pops that passed away back in February in 2021.
I'm so sorry about that. You're the second out of 3 wrestlers we've had. Well, 4, but 2 of the last 3 have said their father passed away recently. Adonis Felios his father passed away last year, April 15th. And what did your father mean to you?
He meant a lot. He always told me as a kid, stay strong, keep your head up, stay focused and open-minded. And I took that, to heart. As being a kid, you never know what you can accomplish in life. But for me, showing him that I can accomplish a lot of things really helped me out a lot.
Was he a fan of you going into wrestling?
Yes, he was.
Do you have extra motivation this season to kind of show him? I know he's watching down, he's smiling and seeing what you're doing, being with us here live all around the world and hearing people hear you for the first time. But do you have extra motivation to kind of, in his memory, kind of accomplish things that he would have liked to have seen you do, no doubt?
Uh, the one thing that he really wanted to see me do is a frog splash off the top turnbuckle.
So
A frog splash off the top turnbuckle. I almost have to pull that off.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got my interest. I'll tell you what, you got my interest here in terms of what we're going to expect from you. And certainly, I think you're going to be a big part of things here at Luck of the Draw and certainly the rest of the season here. I mean, you got to be really fired up right now because
Oh yeah.
I think you're one of the guys, you and Zero, I think, are the guys that I think people are going to keep an eye on for different reasons. I think Zero because he's kind of made his claim about how Mark Packer's disrespected him. He's aligned himself with Nicholas Crenson. You're going the other way. You're talking about a show of respect. You're talking about showing to use your skills to go out there and kind of put yourself out there. And I mean, you got to be really fired up right now. You might be one of the guys that I think that's going to go kind of maybe go and really put themselves in, and maybe we will see you at the end of the season
Oh
challenge
yeah.
Craven Rage. So you got to be real fired up right now. I got to think.
I am. Season's coming up, snow melting, and gotta think about it. I'm been pumped up, been looking at the calendar. I'm like, I'm waiting patiently.
Listen,
No,
we're all waiting because you know what? Not for nothing. I think I just said this with Adonis Felios, and it just feels like yesterday that we were talking about the end of the season, and now we're going to talk about the beginning of this season. And it feels like we've been talking about it month after month and week after week, and we're all ready to go here. And it's so funny because I know you're out in the Midwest and we're here in New York, and winter's been so warm for us, but now all of a sudden, like the last 10 days, it's been windy, it's been cold, it's been rainy, and it's like, I just want to get ready for WC. I just want to get ready for Luck of the Draw. I just want to get ready to see Killer Wolf out there. I just want to get ready to see Darkfire, Craven Rage, Nicholas Crenson, Catalyst, Zero Deus, everybody, Sean Jovi, the resident rock star. Everybody out there. I mean, is there one wrestler from afar that you just want to watch and say, you know what? I just want to watch his work. I just want to soak up what he does in the ring. I know you said Craven Rage. I know you said Kodak Kid. But is there anybody else, Mr. Killer Wolf, that you want to watch from afar and kind of pick up on what they do in the ring?
Rey Mysterio made it to the Hall of Fame of 2023. Constantly will continue to watch him and watch some of his old matches against Eddie Guerrero. I respect Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, especially if you.
619. That's the
Yep.
POD, the famous POD song. I mean, so go ahead, jump in.
And not only that, but this season I'm hitting the Three Amigos.
Ooh, oh, you know what? Well, I haven't heard anybody say that in a long time to use that move. We were talking, and that's a long time I've heard that. In fact, I think I was listening to a podcast, and it might have been Paul Heyman was on one. This would be about, it must have been like 4 or 5 years ago before the Bloodline. He was talking about the fact that the original plans in ECW was actually to put the ECW World Championship on Eddie Guerrero, and he had referenced the Three Amigos. And so, I mean, we have to see. We'll have to see if Killer Wolf can do that. Also, I have a comment here from somebody. I want Killer Wolf to get the championship belt, and I will hope he will do this very good. When you get a comment like that, what does that mean to you?
Since my fiance is showing me love in the chat right now.
What does your fiance mean to you? Say hello to your fiance. Obviously, your better half.
Fiance, I'm gonna say I love you. Thank you for the support, the love, and I will bring it home.
All right. Well, you know what? You got some fire. You got some energy. Adonis Felio says WCE is the whirlwind. It is definitely a whirlwind. And Adonis Felios, next time you got to improve that audio because I was having a lot of feedback issues with you. But this time, Killer Wolf, he's definitely did us right. And he's going to be hungry like the wolf that Duran Duran famously sang, which you can hear in a Grand Theft Auto game. So he's got some fire. I like him. So I want to give you the floor in terms of obviously we have some people that are listening and watching for the first time. And I mean, what do you want to say to anybody right now tonight, whether it's on Sportswire Radio, whether it's those in the back, whether it's fans of WCE or anybody else in general? What do you want to say to them right now?
What I gotta say is, anybody in the locker room, I hope y'all ready for the Three Amigos, for the Frog Splash, and climbing that mountain. Even if I had to get through all y'all just to climb the mountain, I will. As it stands, I got fans to make happy, and I don't listen to the backstage. I don't listen to the locker room. It's the fans that I listen to. They come to watch and see the best matches in the world. For me, showing love to not only fans, but to the people. And like The Rock says, the people is champ. He listens to the people. John Cena listens to people. Rey Mysterio listens to people. Give the fans what they want.
Well, I'll tell you what. Some wrestlers say they do it for the money. They do it for the championships. But Killer Wolf, he's doing it for the fans. He's doing it for the people. And I think I learned one thing tonight on Sportswire Radio. We started off strong with Zero Deus. The middle was a little bumpy with a fork in the road. But we ended with a bang because we've learned that Killer Wolf is the guy to keep an eye on when it comes to wrestling championship entertainment. He's a guy that you're going to definitely want to watch. He's a guy you're going to want to definitely see what he brings to the table. And he's reasons why we are very, very excited about the beginning of the season coming up here. Luck of the draw for wrestling championship entertainment. So, Killer Wolf, you've definitely got some dance moves. You've got some wrestling ring moves that we'll certainly get to see. But I want to give you the floor now. Give you some closing thoughts. And anything else you want to plug, share, say for us. And the floor is yours, my friend.
To all those that's watching, to the fans, to the millions of out there right now, appreciate y'all watching Tom Bryce show. Big shout out to Tom Bryce for having me here and being able to speak out. And for Eddie Guerrero, you already know what time it is. And I want to definitely shout out Rey Mysterio for making the 2023 Hall of Fame of WWE. Good job, my brother. You know, you earned it. You know, you've been in the ring longer, and you know a lot of people longer. You birthed a lot of people longer, and I learned from the best.
All right. Well, you know what? Certainly Killer Wolf. We'll see if he can do some things in the ring like Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. We're going to have to find out. And, of course, we love a Wrestling Championship Entertainment. We want everybody to follow them on Facebook at WCE Heat. Also, YouTube at WCE Heat. Also, WCEHeat.com for more information on Wrestling Championship Entertainment's opening of the season, which is going to come up here in April for Luck of the Draw. So I want to give a big shout out to everybody here that has supported us in Wrestling Championship Entertainment. And Killer Wolf is almost, I think, like every other wrestler we've had on Sportswire Radio that has said Rey Mysterio was a big influence. And that's why Rey Mysterio is an active wrestler going into the Hall of Fame. I've probably interviewed about 250 wrestlers in my career, and I would say the majority of them said Rey Mysterio, whether they were big or small or in between, said Rey Mysterio was their influence. My friend, I can't thank you enough. Congratulations. I look forward to watching you in the ring here for WC this season, and we'll see if some of the things you said you'll live up to them, and I certainly will ask Kodak Kid those questions Monday night about you, no doubt.
Thank you for having me. Thank y'all for watching, and thank you again for having me here. It's a really blessing, and it's an honor.
Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. You heard from not one, not two, not three, but four wrestlers from Wrestling Championship Entertainment. To kick things off, we heard from Zero Deus, who's going to be in the ring here ready with an announced match at Luck of the Draw. We heard from the Drip King, the AIW World Heavyweight Champion Adonis Felios, Tyler Ark, and Killer Wolf here. So these are four wrestlers you're going to keep an eye on this season, no doubt. My name again is the Reverend Tom Bryce. If you're on sportnarium.com/player, you'll go back to your regularly scheduled programming. We will be back also Monday night, 8 o'clock British Standard Time, with a double feature of Bentley and Disciple, who is the GTM and the Nonstop Action Wrestling World Champion. And then I will be back later Eastern and Central Time, evening time, with the Picture of Perfection, Kodak Kid. So thank you, everybody, here for tuning in on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio. Good night, everybody.